Hello, and welcome to my channel. Keeping up with the Boys Planet content, today we'll be ranking their dual position mission performances. Wow, that was a bit of a mouthful. There have been 12 performances that were showcased over the last 2 weeks, and we saw 4 stages from each of the dual category, which consisted of vocal and rap, vocal and dance, and rap and dance. But although the stages were not focusing on the same skills, they weren't so different to the point that we can't group them all together, so we're just going to rank them all together. Just as a disclaimer, I did not get to watch episode 7, so all the rankings done are based only from what I saw from the full performances and some fan cams. I do think my opinions might be a little bit different from who watched the episode, since the backstage content does change the way we view how certain trainees did, how a group presented. If our opinions may be different, and that is not a problem, feel free to comment your opinions below. And I do know that there was a lot of drama in the last episode based on people's reactions and all of the names trending on Twitter. So if you're interested in seeing more of a deep dive analysis of what was shown in episode 7, please leave a comment. Anyways, let's just get right into it and start talking about the performances. At the very bottom of the ranks, we have from the moment the lights panned over the group, I know the performance was not going to hit the way I wanted it, because Feel Special was one of the most iconic eras for Twice in terms of fashion. They had silk, they had sequins, they had sparkly big accessories that contrasted with their pastel purple and the blue hues of their clothes. This song just screams opulence, okay? I was expecting the boys to come out with something shiny, something shimmery, splendid, not necessarily something hyper feminine. They could have done suits of pastel colors, glittery makeup, a royalish outfit, so like what we saw from the Burn It Up groups in the last mission, but they showed up like they were going to perform Permission to Dance with the creative addition of red lip tints. That killed the performance for me from the very beginning. It did not feel special at all. Big no. The denim, no. But okay, we persist through the first seconds of horror, and after mourning the loss of what could have been a great stylistic choice, we can focus on the performance. The song starts out and the arrangement feels oddly empty and sad, which I do not like. If they were a vocally oriented group, I think the sorrow tones and leaning more towards a ballad would have worked wonderfully, as they could have added harmonies and have like a more tear-jerking performance. But since it was a vocal and dance stage, they were basically recreating Twice's stage. If they had exploited more of the earworm instrumental, I think their performance would be a lot more memorable. I think the concept of the song did not fit the lighting and the fashion, and we did get a few choreographed moments where we saw that longing, the sadness, the aching. So I feel like there was really this clash in the stage preparation between what the idea of the visual representation was and what they wanted to pass to the audience versus what the production gave them visually and what stage they prepared for them. And that really brought the team down. However, that is obviously not the only reason they placed last. Let's be very frank and honest. 3 out of 4 of them were decent at best, and that majorly contributed to them being last place. I mean, I was really cheering for Dungan. I really wanted him to have sort of a redemption, show his vocals nicely and decently, but he was really forgettable in this performance, even though he didn't have any big mistakes. Weibo and Jingxing though, as mean as this is gonna sound, if we had a little box and we put all the weakest performers, they would be in that box. They were giving me nothing. No expressions, no vocals, no charisma, no nothing. Yes, girl, give me nothing. All of them had nice visuals though. The fact that they didn't really make the most out of it in the visual area really disarmed them. I feel like that was the only weapon they had. They're like all pretty guys and flowery, and they all have the same ethereal vibe. They did not go for an ethereal stage, which was the only thing that was gonna work for them, seeing that they're not the most talented. And they did not appeal for that, so the stage was just boring. But obviously I cannot finish without mentioning the MVP, Bunki. I'm so happy he finally had a good stage. He could perform the song by himself. I mean, he basically did that. If he did it only by himself, a solo stage, I think it would have been better. He was happy, he had great vocals, he had the charisma and the feelings needed for the song. I don't think he actually did like, wow, an exceptional job. He would definitely not be in the box of the best performer performers in the mission, but he improved so much and I really enjoyed watching him. I'm not sure I have a favorite moment in this performance. Everything was really bland, which is why I'm gonna give them a 2 stars out of 5. In 11th place, we have none other than they really did the song title justice because they were rushed indeed. The stage felt really weird and awkward. The intro where we had a moment between Ma Jingsheng and Ricky, I think Ricky pushed Ma Jingsheng and then they have a high five. That was the most awkward moment I've ever seen in a performance, and the whole team was lacking so much chemistry that it was very hard to watch this performance, to be honest. They were out of sync. They did not seem to be having fun. It was just all over the place. They did not understand the vibes of the song. Rush Hour does not need extreme level of technicality. It's mostly for the fun. We could see in the demo stage when Jay and Camden presented the song, they had a great dance, but what sold the performance to us was that they were laid back and for the vibes only. In this mission though, we had some good parts. Segment's rap was really good. I really enjoyed him rapping. Hiroto also did a very good job. I think this was the first time I actually saw him because people have been talking about him, how he had been to previous survival shows, but in all of his performance so far, he didn't really stand out or do anything that impressed me. But in this one, his rap was fine. His dance break was really good. He really caught my attention and I saw that he was a good performer. And Ricky is just a natural blonde, natural performer. He is a natural performer. He has so much swag, charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talents. This man and the visuals, everything from him is very good. Individually, people did really well in the stage, right? So Sungmin did good, Hiroto did a good job, Ricky did a good job, but together it was weird. I think this was the only performers I actually watched live, so I watched with the reactions, and people backstage were giving me more energy than the whole team combined. So yeah, that was very foul of them. There isn't much to see here. I mean, Takoto was cute, but he's so bad. He still needs to go a long way. But I was very happy that he was able to do his flip. I think it was the first time he successfully did it, so I'm proud. And Ma Jingsheng was pretty in the intro, but then he completely disappeared and I have no idea what he did for the rest of the performance. I think something that also brought the team down a lot was the chorus not being sung live. The singing live really makes the performance more engaging. It gives us energy, gives the momentum for the performance to keep going, but they were not singing it live and everything was kind of falling apart. So if they had all sung the chorus together, I think that would have, made the performance a lot better. And I know that they were doing rap and dance, but they could have sung something. There could have been more done in this performance. And yeah, I know there was some bad blood. I think it was hard for them to practice. Ricky was obviously the MVP, but he cannot carry everyone. I think the fan cams are going to be very fun to watch, but the performance as a whole, 2 out of 5. The makeup and the outfit was on point. Like, that is what I wanted to see. That embodies Rush Hour. The makeup was stunning. Everyone looked great. But performance-wise, you cannot outdo Jay and Condom. Having that comparison is horrible. And even without that comparison, it was horrible. After those 2 mediocre performances, all of the other stages were pretty good to magnificent. They didn't step up from the first mission. They all got into an elevator and went straight to the roof because the improvement I am seeing, and I'm saying this specifically because in 10th place we have Let's start talking about the dozens. Proving themselves that they're not dozens to an extent. Dao looked happy. I was really impressed by him. His vocals were very solid. He just has his aura on stage that he is enjoying so much. I was really excited to see him performing. I think fresh concepts for him fits like a glove. He proved that he is not only a capable vocalist, but he's also very charismatic and kind of has that thing with him that you just want to look at him perform. And I really appreciate that. I did not expect that coming from him, but he really shined in this performance. And someone that also really shined that I was also surprised was Doha. I mean, his rap was a bit meh. I think he does live up to the dozen because he doesn't rap at all. But can we talk about his low voice? It felt so nice, and I cannot even believe he's the same guy who sang My House who couldn't sing My House, was singing very, very nicely here. The tone was very nice, and his acting experience really paid off on stage. They had very cute moments of interactions. I really, really loved the concept, how they did it. It made the performance a lot more engaging. Very nice, also very nice visuals. And lastly, my biggest mom moment was Yichun. Yichun came a long way, and if you saw my previous ranking of the first mission, he would be ranked worst performer of the night without second doubt, you know? He was so bad in his first performance. He had no confidence, no self-esteem, didn't look like he wanted to be there. So I really, really appreciate that he doesn't look as self-conscious anymore. He seemed happy to be there, and he was acting, and his voice, his vocals sounded amazing. He proved himself as a very, very good vocalist. He was so mellowy. I'm very glad he got the chance to showcase himself as a naturally talented person after the disaster that happened. His self-produced songs are also very good. I really recommend listening to them. I think he has this nice and soft aura about him, and his songs are all very healing and all that, and I felt this in this performance. He is the MVP here for sure. He shined. What really, really tugs my heart is that I know they're all going to be eliminated, even though they all had something so big to prove, and they proved themselves. They were able to do it. Doha proved he is not a dozen. Dao proved it that he is actually really good, and all that his hype from having that happy face in his fan cam, yes, he can translate that into other performances. And Yichun, he got his redemption arc. He deserves it. I'm gonna give this performance a 3 out of 5. I know I said it was amazing. It's a little bit forgettable, but I really enjoyed this, so don't take the 3 out of 5 as like, oh my gosh, this was a terrible performance. In 9th place, we have Man, let's talk about it. This was Taere's Chaehyun moment. You know what I mean? There is this moment in Girls Planet 999 where Kim Chaehyun, who plays first, sang so well, sounded so ethereal, looked like an angel. This is what we saw with Taere here. His visuals were so nice, his vocals were amazing, and his dimples, please, I loved it. Everything in this concept and the vibe and the song fit him so well. He was definitely the MVP. He carried the stage. I think this is the moment where we're all like, okay, I understand why you're a top 9 contender. I understand the hype now. And if you don't understand the hype, like, we aren't watching the same thing, because he killed it. I do think I enjoy his falsettos more than when he does some high notes. I think some high notes may come off a bit strained at points, but this is him showing he deserves to debut. And the song was a perfect fit for him. I don't think he would have done such a good job in any other song. Someone else that really stood out to me was Dongyeol. I had my eyes on him ever since his Ajunai's performance. Well, the Ajunai's practice performance where he actually sang. And I was like, wow, the singing is better than the full performance. But I think they switched positions around and whatnot. So in the final performance, he didn't get to showcase his nice vocals. But man, did he prove himself here. He did such a good job. He got the chorus, he got ad-libs, he got high notes. He was able to fully portray himself as a real vocalist, and I think that was really needed for his reputation. Most people don't know him by his lack of screen time and lack of lines in the previous mission, but I think this was a very good night for him. If he is inevitably eliminated, I will want to see more of him. But he sang right before Taere, and Taere has a very distinct vocal color. He has a kind of a powerful tone. So having the comparison may be why people are not paying so much attention to him. But I think he did a great job. Woojin did a decent job with his rap. I was happy about it. Mingyu, please. I love the concept. I love the visuals. I love the outfits. His character is so likable, and he's so nice, and he sang well, and his rap was also okay-ish. I mean, he gave a little nod to My House, and I really, really like that. Most of all, Mingyu had this connection with the audience. He was so hyped where he was like, okay guys, scream and jump. He was so happy to be performing that it made me want to jump and scream and sing the song, even though I didn't know that the song existed. So I really, really appreciate it. His redemption is more than welcome here. I think he had the best dozen redemption out of everyone. His personality itself is just so entertaining that it bleeds in the performance as well. So I was very, very happy to see everything about him. And this performance was also a 3 out of 5. 8th, 9th, 10th are all a bit interchangeable between themselves. In 8th place, we have... This was such a beautiful performance. The choreography, the sentiment, the vocals, everything was so perfect. The background, wings, the wings they made with their hands, everything was so cohesive. I really loved it. Chen Kwan-jui had such a nice voice, and I was not expecting him to have that kind of tone or those kind of vocals. Seeing that he is mainly a dancer and he rapped before, I was mind blown by his appearance, his vocals. Everything was so good. And can we talk about Kong? Kong did such an amazing job as well. I really appreciated his vocals here. I think he did great. Also, he had little tremblings in his voice, which really convinced me, because Butterfly itself, as a BTS song, is super sad. The fragility that Kong brought into the song with his trembling voice, vibratos, and whatnot, really sold that concept to me. And I'm not sure if it was on purpose or not, but even if not on purpose, I really like that. The only thing that brought this team down is the weakest link. It really felt like he was trying hard and he was focused on the performance, but Lim Jung-seo was just not up to par with the other teammates, which must have been incredibly hard for him. But vocally, he really brought the team down. I also think Brian could have done more with his expressions. Every time I see him on stage, I feel like he's a bit so, but his voice sounded extremely nice. Chen Kwan-jui is the true MVP of this performance. He did the choreography splendidly well. He brought pieces of modern dance, and that was awesome. He had really good expression. He had the killing part, but I really enjoyed Kong. I think he was my favorite team member here. Everything was magnificent and magical. I'm giving them a 3.5 out of 5. In 7th place, we have Home. Is a very cozy song. It's very homely. You're supposed to feel warm, and they achieve exactly that. The choreography was really well thought out, and I really like how they opened the door to the house and then they closed the door to the house. That was really nicely planned. Like, they had a vision and they executed that perfectly. Also, the vocals were so good. We had a really stacked team in terms of voices. I think some of them shine more than others. I didn't see much from Dong Hang Hai or Yoon Seo. Even Jae did very well with what they were given, but they didn't really shine a lot. Sunggun, wow, he is such a good singer, and he had a very good vocal moment. The mishap, when you watch the full performance, is barely even there, you know? Like, you barely notice it because it's the very beginning and he keeps singing like nothing happens. Didn't even flinch. That was like true performer right there. I think he did the best job out of everyone in this performance, even with his mishap. He really shined a lot. His voice is just golden. Yoon Jung-woo, man, he is a big brain, isn't he? His dance, I feel like at some points it was kind of funny when you watch the full version because out of nowhere he's just jumping. But he did really good. The whole hug that he had was so sentimental. Even though he didn't show his vocals, I think he did a really good job focusing on the dance. It was very beautiful. The whole performance was so nice to see, and the mellow lighting, also give it a 3.5 out of 5. I feel like I do not appreciate it more because the song is not really my cup of tea. In 6th place, we have This was such a fun performance. I think it was also very balanced in terms of the dual position. We had both a lot of dance and we had also a lot of rapping. It was the most rap-centered song we saw in this mission. It had both its entertaining parts and hard-hitting parts. Doing really hard choreography was very hard-hitting, but we also had some light-hearted moments when Junghyun showed his abs and put his glasses the other way around. That was so comedic of him and something that we don't really see a lot in the performances, so that was really kind of unexpected. Extra points for creativity, obviously. I also really enjoy the raps coming from Lee Jung-hyun and Moon Jung-hyun. They did amazing with their raps. Janyu didn't really appear much. I don't remember him from the performance a lot, so I think he was a bit overshadowed by everyone else and everything else that was happening. Also, at some points in the performance, I was a bit lost on what to focus on, so it wasn't a super cohesive performance with start and finish like in Home. This one was more all over the place, but it was still enjoyable to see because they were very skilled Kim Jung-hyun proved himself as a very good choreographer, and he had a little bit of vocal moment. And Lee Sung-hwan, please, he did so well. It doesn't get it through my head that he was originally a vocal-centered performer. He does such a good job of rapping. Those concepts in general, he pulls it off almost effortlessly. He has the charisma, he has the eyes to be on stage destroying it. He's obviously the MVP in this performance, and all of the moments where he's on stage, my favorite. Also, I really like the addition of the sunglasses. I think it was very creative, very fun performance. I'm gonna give them also a 3.5 out of 5. In 5th place, we have La is the kind of song that confused me a bit. I wasn't really sure where to place them because when I saw the performance, I enjoyed it and know that they're very skilled and talented. But the cuts of the performance and the camera work really did them so dirty. So after some fan cams like Park Han-bin's and Wonsi House, I really could appreciate the performance a lot more because really the camera work did no justice to anyone. Maybe Yoojin, but really not really anyone. The choreography is insane. Their dancing is immaculate. Everything is so perfect. But where are the rapping parts? I was expecting to hear a lot from everyone rapping, and Zihao, Yedam and Yoojin had one line each, which was a bit like weird. Kangdam finally got to rap on national television, so I'm very happy for him. But I feel like he was kind of robbed of his screen time. Every time he was center, I never really got to see him. I'm not sure if Kangdam and Yoojin look so much alike that I thought it was all Yoojin. I think not. I don't know. Every time I wanted to see Kangdam, he didn't appear on my screen. So I was pretty bummed out about that. But really happy with his rap. Park Han-bin, I didn't know he could rap so well. Out of nowhere, like what? And his expressions are always so good. He is definitely the one that shined the most in this performance, but does he ever not? I mean, he does not disappoint. He was perfect. He got so much talent in him. The performance itself, I really enjoyed the choreography. I think the choreography was obviously the main part, but it did feel a little bit too much dance focused versus then rapping. But Yoojin did a great job in the choreography. I think his dance lines are amazing for being so young. Wow. He tends to go a little bit too much on the sexy side, which I'm like, stop. Zihao also did amazing. When I looked at his fan cam, like, wow, the expressions were there, everything was there. Yedam also did a really good job as a killing part, but the MVP definitely Park Han-bin. Overall, the song was really enjoyable. I also wish that they sang the chorus live. That would have balanced a bit out the lack of lines that the other guys have if they sang the chorus live. But I get it, the dance was hard. They were focusing mainly on the dance, which is why they probably chose that performance in first place. I think it would be definitely 4 out of 5. Very good performance. The outfits were good. The makeup was really nice, and they're all so skilled. Like, they had no weak link. Very balanced team in terms of skills and talent. For this performance specifically, I wish we had that full camera where the camera does not move and we get to see like the choreography and the performance and whatnot. Yeah, that's really a bummer because looking at the fan cam, the choreography lays, but the camera work, it sucks a lot. Bummer. I was very happy with this performance. It was not the one that shined the most in this category, but pretty good performance overall. In 4th place, we have I really thought this performance would be ranked lower because at first I didn't really like it. I thought it was kind of a mid performance, but after sitting on it for a week and seeing all the other performances, I think 4th place is actually what they deserve. Out of their vocal and dance rivals, I think they did the best job. The flaws I see in this performance is also a lot due to the camera work. Like, the camera work just sucks. Mostly, I think people think this performance was mid. Well, it came right after Zoom in the performance in episode 6. Also, the editing, not the performance, but the backstage left us all with like negative emotions because we did not understand what was going on. Everything seemed very bad, and all of these feelings kind of translated in our opinions of the performance, and mostly the comparison with the original one, which is really unfair because Monsta X have almost a decade of experience. They all look very buff and very sexy. Then having only 4 members perform the song was also not very good because the position and the formations are a bit lacking. So it's very hard to do a nice dance performance with 4 members. I think Feel Special did it very nicely because the dance break already has that up and down, so they don't have a strict formation that they need to do the diamond thing and cover one member up. But butterfLYY, having them in 4 and having to do the diamond, I hate the diamond formation. Really, I hate it. I hate it when Blackpink does it. The diamond formation just sucks. So yeah, I think they were really disadvantaged at that, and they really lacked a rapper with swag. butterfLYY performance originally is a bit of a psycho twist to it, so it's very swaggy, but it also is supposed to make us a bit fearful.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I make you anxious?
Their members are very pretty and very well kept. They all look very elegant. It doesn't seem like anyone wants to go out of that concept. Maybe someone broke this barrier a little bit more, which is why I think he stood out a lot. But all of them did not want to dip into this horrifying cycle. So they didn't really have the swag to pull the song off, especially in the moments that it needed. I think Matthew would have done a better job with the killing parts. I think the dance break was also not the best. I like the kick. I think it was really impactful. Also, Jiwoong's sense of body control is insane. But the whole walking around was a bit too much, I think. And when you see their fan cams, you can see they did a really good job. Now to the good parts. The performance is really appealing. I keep repeating it. It's very addictive. I think the voices, the vocals were really, really good. Matthew absolutely killed it. Really, his voice was golden. It was clear. It was right there. When he began, he said he was more confident in dancing, but his vocals are so good that I'm surprised. I think he did a great job as the main vocalist. And Sowon killed it. I think Sowon is the MVP mostly because he stood out more. I mean, I think Matthew did a lot more to the performance, but Sowon really came through and shined. His expressions, with his versatility, he embodied the concept really well. Gyubin and Jiwoong did a great job as well, but it didn't show so much in the full performance. You need to check out their fan cams to be able to see. This is also a performance that I wish I had the full camera to see how the choreography was laid out, how everyone presented, but I don't think we're getting any static camera. But I enjoy the performance. I know I criticize it a lot, but I think they did a really good job, especially vocally. I was really happy listening to it. The performance itself, I mean, it was good. And also abs, they were there. So I would give this a 4.5 out of 5. In third place, we have this might be a little bit controversial. And being completely frank, I think this performance was better than the one I put in second place. But it did have things that I'm a bit nitpicky about. Chambo had an amazing arrangement. Okay, I don't know if it was Hui who decided it, but I love the rock twist into it. There were a couple things that bugged me throughout the performance. First of all, Sang Hanbin's hair. Why did someone give him like that bowl cuts kind of style? We like seeing foreheads, and his eyebrows are very expressive, so not being able to see them, very back take of these stylists. Also, Hui's pronunciation at some point kind of threw me off. Like, I was very immersed, and then the pronunciation was like, and I didn't really understand what he was saying, and I was like, oh, not so immersed anymore. But he killed it with his vocals, as always. He is such a good performer. He was so good. But the one that really shined today, Jang Hao did amazing. Wow, his voice, and he had this balance between the femininity and masculinity that the song needed, and he was killing it with his vocals. Like, whoa, he was definitely the MVP. I think he shined so much. Gunwook, he also did a good job. Like, Gunwook was having so much fun on stage. I'm not sure about his rap. Like, I was not exactly a fan of it, but I do not dislike it. Tomboy's rap is really iconic. I didn't particularly like Tomboy's original rap, but not hearing it feels very weird. You know, I think having such a popular song has its up and downs, and the rap part, I'm not convinced about it. But overall, I think everyone did a great job. I mean, it was expected. They were all aces. Sang Hamin also made me very surprised. My jaw dropped with his vocals. I didn't know he was such a good vocalist. Like, the man is the full package and shows why he should be number one. Really, wow, his voice was amazing. And my favorite part is the moment where he's harmonizing with Hui. I think the performance itself was very intense. They also added choreo, which was not needed but very much appreciated. And Gunwook in the end, that really reminded of Mashiro in Mafia in the Morning. She was super excited for the other girls singing and doing whatever, and Gunwook really did the same thing. He was so excited on stage, and I was really happy seeing that. Overall, really good performance. I think Technically, the performance itself was probably the best, but since this is my ranking, I'm gonna follow my opinion. This performance by itself would be a 4.9 out of 5. It was really, really wonderful. They were also skilled and talented, and the stage also was amazing. Obviously, they had the buff up of being super popular in the top 9 trainees, so their stage would be a lot more organized, but they used the stage very well. They were up there and then they came forward. I think the use of the stage and the space was really well thought out. Very, very good performance overall. In second place, we have... Wow, this performance, I was kind of speechless after I saw it the first time. All the emotions, oh my gosh, everything was so good. They started out a bit offbeat. Anthony was offbeat and he seems to not be finding the right way to sing it. And when he started and was offbeat, I was like, this performance is gonna suck. That was my first thought. But then they keep on going, and as the song progresses, it gets so good, and I was touched by it, really moved by everything. Christian sang and his voice sounded so amazing, really full and nice. The tone of his voice was super good, and he had like a little growls here and there. Anthony also had really good vocal moments. He had his high notes, he had the killing part, really good. And Park Ji-hoon was amazing. Wow, he is a kid, but he did so well. He harmonized, he sang, he rapped his feelings out so well. It was really a really good performance. It was super raw. The stage didn't have anything complex. The background wasn't complex, it was just their lyrics. And after I saw the translation to it, it made me even more emotional. Park Ji-hoon talks about not getting any screen time in episodes 1 and 2. Anthony talks about his hardships coming to Korea, thinking he's good, but then his Korean is not so good. Christian talking about his haters and whatnot, and in the end they're like, oh, we have to keep going, we need to keep breathing in, breathing out. And the whole performance just gave me chills. I actually teared up the first time watching, the second time watching it, the third time watching it, and I feel like at a certain point I'm just gonna cry, because it was so emotional to me and it moved me so much that even if they had some mishaps, even if their vocals were not the best, the vocals were really good though. Just the beginning that they have a few mishaps, like even if they have that really big offbeat moment in the beginning, the amount of feelings and sentiments that they were able to portray and how they were able to move me really made them deserve the second place. And this is an amazing way for them to go home. I think most of them were going home. Maybe Park Ji-hoon, no, because he got the benefit, so maybe he's not eliminated, but they really are going out with a banger. They all killed it. They all had a balance of amazingness. If you watch Girls Planet 999, in the very end they had to do a whole performance of their signal song, and then whoever got the most fan cam views would get the benefit. And they had the first group, which was the top trainees, and then we had group number 3, which was the leftover trainees basically. And when we saw them performing and practicing, there was a judge who even cried, and they were like, wow, you put so much of your heart and soul in this performance that even though the other girls are more skilled than you, your performance was really the best. And that's what I feel with Limousine. Balance between the vocals and the raps was awesome. The rap writing was amazing. And most of all, by the end of it, we would say, wow, this was art. In first place, we have Zoom is an amazing performance. Okay, this is such a good performance. Definitely my favorite. Zoom is just perfect through and through. Okay, first of all of the members shined. So they really gave me that ice cream moments where I know exactly how they shine, why they shine. The performance itself was super energetic, really good vibes overall. It was just fun and enjoyable to watch. Talking specifically about each one, Ollie did a great job. He was super memorable with his line. His rap was short, but it was sweet. He had some ad-libs here and there in the chorus, and he's like, okay, and he was so cute and really caught a lot of attention. Soonbin, who had such a hard time with his killing part, did amazing. He got to show off his vocals. He did a really good rap as well. He combined both of them together and did phenomenally. He was not the super standout of the group, but he wasn't bad either. I think he really showcased his improvement, and his will to do great was impressive. Mumati has an iconic line, which is just on our heads over and over again. He did amazing. He rapped. I didn't know he was able to rap, but he rapped really well. I think his Korean is also really good apparently, and his vocals and voice is out of this world. His looks were also very nice. I think the blonde did him great, even though it's not that likely. Really hope he pulls through and survives. Haruto shined so much. He did amazing. in his dance break. It was awesome. His rap was also really, really good. I love him as a rapper. I think he has one of the best flows ever. He raps in such a nice way. I think they've really, really profited out of the background sounds, like the photo camera going off and on. They did such a good job using those little parts and making them killing points. I think they did a great job. Haruto specifically doing his headstand while they're taking pictures. That was a great idea. Very creative. And last but not least, Keita, which was by far the MVP. He is such a good rapper. He had the timing, the rhythm, the charisma on stage, the microphone being the other way around. Like, yes, boy, it gave me everything. Everyone in the stage did such a good job. Them having parts that highlighted everyone really made this feel like a very complete team. They had a really good chemistry. They sang live. If you look at the fan cams, each of them are helping other people sing their parts out to highlight certain words or certain phrases. All in all, this performance was just geniusly created. And the fact that Zoom has a very catchy chorus, but not a lot of people remember how the rap went like, also were their favorite a lot, because now the official rap to that song is the ones they added in. And I must say that I maybe like this more than the original version. Also, the fashion, great. I mean, the hat really sold it for Kate. I think he looks super cute. Each guy having a specific color, I think that really makes them shine more individually. Overall, the performance was insane. They had a very good balance between rapping and dancing, and they were able to showcase both of them so well, which is why they stand in first place. They were the best performers. They were able to showcase the best part of both of the dual positions and even added a bit of vocal. Like, please, they were amazing. Keita's team for the win, honestly. I think Lot team won in the end. Zoom was robbed. So it's a very good thing that they showed them first, so the team could have like this extra week of voting, because they deserved it after losing the battle. Like, what? That is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed my ranking, and if not, please comment below what your opinions and what your personal ranking is. Take your time and tell me why is it that, and maybe I can change my opinion. Maybe I'll change my opinion after I watch the episode, but if I do, I'll probably comment as well. Now I really like this performance more, because suddenly there was a really nice story of someone doing badly and then surpassing it, or maybe I hate someone and I'm like, okay, I don't want that performance to do so well. But that is for the future. So yeah, thank you, and let's stay strong this week and next week after the elimination. Like, have a good day, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Goodbye.